Being able to identify the end of a correction is key to making lots of money from the market. And today I'm going to show you how to use time analysis. So we're going to dive into Chiliz, which has made a nice impulsive move. Looks like it's making a correction, but is the end of the correction near or complete? Well, that's what we're going to look at today. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I'm here to help you make more money from the markets. So let's dive straight into the Chiliz technicals. So here with Chiliz, quick reminder, markets tend to move in 5s and 3s. So what we're always looking for is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if it's clear, what typically follows is an A, B, C style corrections. 5s and 3s. And it's crowd psychology playing out time and time again. So here with Chiliz, we've got this nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We anticipated this in advance, which is cool. And then we anticipate some type of correction. But the big question is this the end of a correction over here? And we should anticipate the price going above this high over here? Or is the correction not complete? So that's what we're going to look at today. And by the way, if you want to learn how to trade and you want to join my private community, check out my 4 secrets trading masterclass, how to make money from the markets. We have private workshops on the weekend, my private Telegram group. This is the gateway to buying my courses, which are massively discounted right now. So you can work closer with me. I'm looking to onboard some more students so I can take your trading and make your money to the next level. So with Chiliz, right, here's the key. Everything looks good for this to be an end of a correction. Other than one thing. So everything, I know, it's not quite accurate. Almost everything. So we've got this retracement level, right? Most corrections pull back to what's called a 50% Fibonacci retracement. And all that is we measure how big was the movement to the upside, and we take a retracement, which is a move back down, and these are two common ratios, 50% and 62%. So Chiliz went into this zone, and that indicates that might be the end of a correction. However, if we use relatively advanced, but once you know how to do this, it becomes easier and easier because everything in life is difficult before it's easy. There's something called Fibonacci price retracements. There's a typical amount of time that it takes for a correction to complete, more often than not. And our job as pro traders to make money from the market is to stack the odds in our favor and go with the high probability trade setups time and time again. Whether you're buying the underlying asset or if you're trading using stop loss, the same principles apply. So what I've simply done here is I've just measured how long did this beginning of 1, end of 5 take, how long in terms of time. And then I've projected forward 2 ratios. And the 2 key ratios, this 38.2% and 62%, which is this red line. This is the typical minimum time it takes to complete a correction, more often than not. So because this price was reached before this green line, that tells me it's unlikely that Chiliz has completed a correction. And this in itself as a pattern sequence is called impulsive, meaning it's quite aggressive selling on the way down, which is not typical for a correction. What is typical for a correction? Well, I'll show you. Right here on the chart, we can see it. So this here is a corrective style pattern. This here is a corrective style pattern. But this here is an impulsive style pattern over here. So this looks quite impulsive on the way down. And we want to be aware of that. So now let's just do some analysis on, okay, if this is not the correction. So let me just clarify one more thing. What would confirm this is the end of the correction, right? Because the name of the game is probabilities, right? And that's just the nature of it. No one knows exactly what's going to happen, but we can stack the odds. So if the price does end up going above here, then we'll reevaluate, right? That will be a confirmation or a high indication that this may be the end. But let's stack the odds in our favor. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to do something very, very simple. I say simple. It's simple for me because I've been doing it for so many years. I've been doing it for like 15 years on Forex markets and 5 years for crypto markets. So what we're going to do, we're going to take some closing data. This just lets us know that this was the closing low over here. And what we're going to simply do is some time analysis and some price analysis to go, okay, if this is not the end of a correction and we're anticipating one more leg down, where is the likely top over here? And then where would be the likely bottom over here? That's what we're going to do relatively fast. So I'm not going to go too much detail. If you want the detail, check out the masterclass. Yeah, I covered this. This is one of the secrets, right? the time and price. Time and price is really, really important to understand because it's all fear and greed playing out time and time again. So I'm going to do two simple things. This is like the foundational things you want to be aware of. This is price. This is a typical price ratio. There's three that you want to be aware of, but I'm also going to do, well, let me just make sure that's in there. I'm also going to do some time analysis. So I'm just going to measure this low. And what I want is the closing low, which is this one here. So you can tell this over here is in this price ratio. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to hold. It's just that this looks like, to me, a potential ABC. And I'm doing it with Chiliz, but this applies to all markets and all time frames, right? So we should anticipate something like this. I'm just going to do one more thing, which just will help clarify one more thing here. Bang. All right, so we're likely to see Chiliz top out over here. If it doesn't go above here, we're likely to see one more low being made, right? And again, it's just probabilities. And what would confirm this? Well, if we get something called a price overlap. So there's another thing called pattern reversal signals. And what we're looking at is crowd psychology. It's buying and selling behavior. How are the crowd feeling about this particular asset class, this particular asset? So I'm going to finish with this. I'm not planning on covering this, but I'll finish with this. This is a nice trick. You want to, well, it's not even a trick. It's understanding the markets. So if Chiliz, if this is not a correction and it's going to continue to make new highs, right? Let's say that's what people believe. What should this not do if this is going to occur, right? In other words, what would be a sign of weakness that indeed that we're more likely to see a correction to the downside? What would be an indication? Well, it's something called a price overlap or a wave overlap. So I'll take the closing price of this high over here, this high over here. And if the price closes in this range, that is a sign of weakness. That is a massive sign of weakness. And that is a strong indication that this high, or whenever it occurs, if it occurs, is likely to hold. And we're likely to see the price go down. And then what we're likely to see, and I promise this is what I am going to finish on today, is what we're likely to see is what we initially started with, which is, I'll leave the pink box over there. I'll leave that over here. I can get rid of these. What we're likely to see, if I just do that analysis one more time, is this low to this high. We'll do the time analysis. Again, I'm just going to select the ratios in just a second. Where are we? Boom, boom. Oh, here we go. And let me just get these two. Is a correction in this range over here, right? So we're probably going to get one more leg to the downside at some point in the coming days. If that occurs, and it is still an if, right? There's no guarantees in this game, and it takes out this low, then we can do a bit more precise analysis on pegging the bottom, and then we're probably going to see the next market trend move off, because what typically happens in all markets, in all time frames, is 5s and 3s. You want to get really familiar with 5s and 3s. So the most common is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then some type of A, B, C correction. If that occurs, this counts as a wave 1 and then a wave 2 on a higher degree. It's called a higher degree wave count. And then the market will tend to make a bigger degree next 5-wave sequence. And that would happen time and time again. So we covered it with Chiliz today, but you want to start using time analysis. Use all the tools all the time. And if you want to know how to do, it's part of my 4 secrets, right? I try and find the 20% that's going to give me 80% of the results, keeping it very, very simple. So check it out. It's free. It will take your trading to the next level. So let's finish with a quote from my book in the theme of simplicity. We're going to stick with Leonardo da Vinci, and he says this: simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. By the way, you can now download my book for free as well. It's in the description link. So again, keep it simple. Keep it simple. So is Chiliz, has it completed its correction? But more importantly, other markets that you're looking at, you can apply that Fibonacci time. It goes quite expansive. That's like the basic on retracement, but it gives you a flavor of how long a correction to take. And more often than not, if the low is before the minimum time, then it's likely it's not complete. And there's normally one more leg to the downside, and we can anticipate that. So then when everything coincides, then we got a higher probability on our hands. So check out the masterclass, and I'll see you soon.